Hello, in this CSS crash course video, we're going to be covering borders. We're just going to do a brief overview of a border. So first of all, let's just create a div tag. You can create honestly whatever you want. I'm going to keep it simple, create a div tag. So div, and now what we're going to be doing inside here, we're just going to put hello world. Save that, refresh. So we've got our hello world div here. We go on to that, we go on to this part here. So we got the core element, we've got padding, which we covered in the previous video, we've got margin, which we also covered in the previous video, and now we're going to be covering border. Once you've done this video, recommend you start combining border and margin and padding, and to actually see the differences in there, because at the moment in the previous video we just did margin and padding separately. Recommend combining them if you haven't, because they can be combined, and with borders are to distinguish between those. All really cool stuff. So what we're going to do is add a style. I'm going to add some padding. I'm going to put this as 100 pixels. So leave that as it is, save it. So there we go. And now what we're going to do is put border. There's 3 different sort of attributes that you need to affect for properties, I should say, affect for border. 3 main ones. Border dash style, which is something like dashed. So I think you can guess what this will be. This would be a dashed one. Solid would just be a solid line, and there's dotted as well. Border dash width, and you can either use pixels, units, EM, whatever you want. I'm just going to say 3 pixels. Then you put border dash color. This is the color of the border. As usual, stuff like border style, because it has other values that you can supply to this attribute, I recommend going onto the W3 Schools website, have a look at the border style section, and just learn more about it. It's always the best way. So if we refresh, as you can see, we now have a border around our element. If we were to get rid of the padding, so I'm just going to put 0 here, save that, refresh. As you can see, it's just around the element itself in terms of height. But let's bring back the padding. What we're going to actually do is add a margin. I'm going to do what I was talking about, combining margin and padding. So I'm going to do margin. I'm going to put 25 pixels, save that, refresh. As you can see, we've got some outside, because what it's done is, if we go to our body div, it's got the core contents here, then padding, and the border, then the margin, which is outside. And to illustrate this, we're going to add a background dash color of white. I'm going to add a color of black for the text. Refresh, and as you can see, the actual color only affects the border and the padding as well. It does not affect the margin, which we covered in the previous video. So there you go, borders, very cool stuff. I'm sure you'll be using it a lot. We've only covered actually how to apply a border all around, but you can apply a border on the left, on the top, the bottom, right, wherever you want really, and you can apply different ones. And I recommend you, well, try and Google it and find out. It's not very hard. I'm sure you can probably see it here. Just do border dash the one that you want. So yeah, that'd be a great way of learning and just making sure your skills are on point with borders in CSS. But if you have any questions, feel free to post it on my education platform, sonarlearning.co.uk. There will be a link in the description, plus there'll be a link for all the source code from this series. If you liked the video, or if you didn't, please let us know, because we're always looking for feedback. And as usual, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.